the grant, if awarded, is basically a contract, right? You're signing it, we're signing it, we're going to, you got to uphold these, we're going to provide the funding for these activities. So I'm going to go through some grant terms and conditions. I am not going to go through all of them because I promise you it'll put you to sleep. All of you got a copy of it, I think. So what I'm going to go through is the ones that basically apply to us at this point in the process. Okay? Now, you need to read it or have your county attorney or city, whoever, go through it as well. That way you know what you're signing up for. But for our purposes right now, I'm just going to go through a few of them. Number one is really the key, okay? Availability of federal funds. Let's see, do I have these? All grant awards are contingent upon the availability of federal funds. Now, we've all heard federal government's going to shut down if they don't get it signed by whatever day, okay? So, and our funds are federal funds. Now, have we had to stop completely 100% projects? Not in about 18 years, okay, that I've been here. Okay, the federal government has shut down a couple times, but we have some reserve money that we save for a rainy day, if you will. However, we have had to put some projects on pause for a little bit, such as, no travel, like conserving money, if you will. So these projects are based on federal dollars. Number 4, obligation of funds. Grant funds may not, and remember this, may not be spent or obligated prior to October 1st of the grant award date. If your projects are awarded, more than likely they will be awarded in mid-September in preparation for the October 1st day. Don't go spend money on September 16th in preparation for October 1st, because I promise you we won't be able to reimburse you for that. Okay? Wait until October 1st to start the project. We had somebody, I'll tell you a story, we had I don't know if Powell or Roger in here, but we had a grantee several years ago that, they came to this same class, sat here, we told them, don't spend the money until October 1st. Well, they did get the grant, and then mid-November when we got their first claim, guess what it was dated? Their invoice was dated. It was like July 12th or something, okay? We're not reimbursing that. That agency just bought themselves new laptops, okay, which that's what they had requested from us, so I don't know if they, just know, October 1st, okay? Number 6, allowable and unallowable cost. I'm not going to go through these. You've got a copy of it in your grant terms and conditions, and it's in the RFP, but I will let you know we do not allow promotional or incentive type items. Okay, you can't go buy ink pens with your agency name and the GOHS logo on there. We cannot do that. We can't buy t-shirts. We can't buy, nice polo shirts anymore, okay? Those are not allowable. Number 7, education and training. The training that you do or the education that you provide must be grant related for us to reimburse. Okay. Number 12, equipment acquired under this grant for highway safety program areas shall be used and kept in operation for highway safety purposes by the subrecipient. Laura mentioned the $5,000. So if you have one of those, the speed trailers, okay, with the signs, occasionally people will request one of those. We had one a couple years ago request one that did have the message board on it, okay? Well, when we requested approval from NHTSA, they came back and said, yes, it's allowable. However, the messages can only be highway safety. Okay, so you can't, you would not be able to use that message board at one of your city events to say parking down on Main Street. Okay, that would be unallowable because that's not grant related. Now, if you were to use it, you know, for pedestrian type purposes, if that was your project, then okay, that's a different story. Project implementation, we talked about that earlier. If awarded, you must get the project up and running within 90 days. Number 17, procurement standards. If you're requesting equipment to complete your project, and I'm talking $5,000 or more type equipment, you need to attach your procurement policy, your agency procurement policy to the application. Jared mentioned the document attachment page. That's where it needs to go. And then once you are available to buy that equipment, then you must follow that policy that you provided to us. Number 18, reports. I talked about it earlier. You must provide monthly program and reports and claims for reimbursement. Number 19, property management. If you are requesting motor vehicles in this project and if the project is awarded, you must maintain insurance on those cars. Okay, a lot of you are self-insured, I think, probably. So just make sure that you must maintain insurance on those cars, because if it gets wrecked, you're going to have to replace it. Number 23 is self-assurance. Roger Powell already talked about that one. Travel must be directly related to the grant. Number 26, performance. This grant may be terminated or funds payments discontinued when it finds a substantial failure to comply with provisions governing. So basically, if at some point your grant is non-compliant, basically you're not doing the activities, you're not submitting progress reports and claims, GOHS does have the right to come and reclaim the equipment and shut the grant down. Number 30, audit requirements. If your jurisdiction receives more than $750,000 in federal money, then you need to send us your audit report. No big deal. Now that $750,000 does include the entire city or the entire county. You're a county police department. You may not get $750,000, but if your county roads department or the county waste treatment plant, if they get money, then that's all considered part of that $750,000. It's not just the police department. Number 33, we already talked about court pay. Number 34, the non-discrimination disclosures that us and the federal government abide by. Number 35, the Buy America Act. I don't think, is Roger in here? Jared, can you ask him to come in, please? So any type of equipment that you buy has to be follow the Buy America Act. Roger, what are the cars, the vehicles right now that can be?
I'm sorry, Scott.
The vehicles, is it the Ford?
Ford Explorer, Dodge Durango, Chevrolet Tahoe.
Okay, those are our options.
That's about your options now. If you want me to whittle them down from there,
No, no. Yeah,
Y'all know, probably most people are doing Ford Explorer.
so those three follow the Buy America Act.
Harley in that.
I'm sorry?
Didn't hear Harley Davidson in that.
No. We haven't done motorcycles ever, I don't think. That was, I knew there were a couple that, okay, number 47 is the compliance agreement. Just make sure you can abide by the grant terms and conditions. Number 53, we can't use grant funds to do helmet checks. So that was done away with a couple of years ago. So no checkpoints to target motorcycles. That's it under grant terms and conditions. So here is what the grant, the contract forms looks like in the EGOHS program. You can see the grant terms and conditions and certification and signature page, which when you fill it out will need to be printed, okay, and sent to us. You'll have the agency authorized official, let me see. So is generally the highest elected official. The agency administrator is going to be the person who is going to handle the grant on a day-by-day basis, so that that'll be the person that is in touch with our office most of the time. And then the agency staff is generally the finance director, finance appointee, however you want to put it out there. So I said you've got to print that page, that certification and signature page, print it, get those three people to sign it with blue ink, and then mail it to us. And we have to have that by March 31st. So there's a couple due dates that you have. Don't get them confused, okay? We've just got to have the certification and signature page is March 31st. Okay, this is what it looks like when you do print it out. It'll have all the names in there. Now, there is a way through EGOS to get these names and this information onto this page. Please don't do a PDF and then edit it and type these people's names in there, because if that happens, we don't have the necessary information to be able to award the grant, because the authorized official, we perhaps won't have their, when we send an email out or when we send letters, we pull it from our grant system. Okay, so if the information isn't in there, then what? We don't have it, right? So make sure that when you print this page, the information is there. And if it isn't, there is a cheat sheet, remember, on your little agenda. If you go to that QR code there, it'll tell you how to get all those names onto that page. There is a few extra steps, so just know that please don't edit the PDF version, because we won't have the necessary information. Did you want to say something? Okay. Any questions on the contract forms? Okay. All right, remember I said there's more than one due date, okay? So March 31st is your certification and signature page, and the application that we're all here for is due February 28th. So don't wait until March to submit your application. It'll be too late. All right? Now, there is a submit button. Just because you write it doesn't mean that we get it, okay? You actually have to submit the application, and there is a submit button in there that will send it to us. I think I've got maybe 5 or 6 already from the renewal applications, so. Make sure you hit submit. And you think, you're looking at me like, well, duh, like, would we know to submit it? Well, we have people that sit in this class every year. Oh, I didn't know I had to submit it. So I'm just making sure that I make a point of this, that we submit it. Okay. So
Say one thing about this.
please do, yes.
When you go there and look at change status, this little green button that says change status, when you click on it, it's the way you change the status is what status you want it to be in. It does not say submit application. It says application submitted. That's your submit button, application submitted. That's where you want it to be. That's one of the biggest calls we get. Well, how do I submit it? That and how do I get those 3 names on there? And if you go to that management tools button and look, it says add edit people, that's where you do it. It takes 30 seconds.
So there'll be that actual apply status button to
Yes.
what he was saying about the application submitted status. So you actually have to click on that button. And then you'll know that you've submitted it. You'll know that you've submitted it when the status of the grant application actually says application submitted. So that's how you'll know.
So once your application is submitted, it will be assigned to a review team. The review team consists of 2 people from our office, 1 from either law enforcement or planning and programs. 1 will be from the finance division, and then we always add an external reviewer, somebody from the outside that can look at it as well. If revisions are required, the application will or has the possibility of being sent back. If your application looks like it's something that we need to fund, we do have the ability to send it back. You will get an email saying your application requires modifications, and we ask that you get those modifications done within 3 business days and send it back to us so that we can keep our process moving. The average of the 3 reviewers must be at least a 70% or better to be awarded. And if it is an approved application, it will be awarded generally prior to October 1st. Now, we do have to have that certification and signature page before it's awarded. So if you miss that March deadline, we can't award it until we get that. So make sure you get that into us. All right, I talked about this before. Do not incur any grant-related expenses until, 1, you receive the award letter, and it's after October 1st. Our grants are all reimbursable. We need the procurement policy before we can go to NHTSA with any $5,000 or more requests. And the unit price of a single item does include shipping, handling, and taxes. So what is February 28th, 2023? What is that day significant for you? That is right. That is the date the application is due to us.